All right, everyone. It's another episode of Q&A with Alan and Marshall, and I'm Alan Howe. No, I'm not. I'm Marshall Atkinson.
No, it's the other way. Yeah,
with Atkinson Consulting.
I'm Alan Howe with Easy Waste Systems.
I'm just trying to be silly. So,
end of the year, we need some silliness.
Oh my gosh, is this year ever going to end?
I don't know, man. I think we have a deal where I thought I turned off my phone and things just came up. I'm like, let's turn this off. I want the year to end, but I think in our mind, we feel like 2020 was so, I don't know, whatever we want to call it. Crazy, stupid, weird, ugly.
It's a dumpster fire. Let's admit it.
Kind of. But you know what? I have to shake myself and go, look, just because New Year comes, it's not a flip of the switch. We still have things we got to do. We got to.
We'll still have the same problems in January, but at least 2020 will be over.
Absolutely. I think, though, you know what, Marshall, I don't know if you agree. I think we always talked about we just didn't know where the light is. I think we can see light now.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And I'm making major plans, and we're going to get into a lot of this on the show. But I think there's a lot of things that is fixing to change. And I'm making some huge plans, and we can talk about that later. But before, here's what we want to make sure everyone's doing is if you're watching right now, please say hello. We got a bunch of people that just did that, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But please say hello. Let us know where you're watching from and that type of stuff. And don't forget, this is a Q&A show, which means you have to ask the questions so we can answer them. And we've got a lot of topics we're going to get into, and we want to help you. That's our goal. This is a helping show. We're like a bunch of little elves here. Okay. we want to help you, but you got to get those questions out. Okay. Yep. So that's the number one thing is get those, because without the question, we can't do the answer.
Yep.
Okay. So let's say hello to some folks. Charles is here. Good morning.
Hey, hold right there. We got to say something with Charles. I know you got it too.
Yep.
Got this little package a couple days ago from Cutboat Coffee. It was from Charles at Ragged Apparel. I know, Mark, you got one. So, Charles, thank you so much.
Mine's downstairs. So
I cannot wait to try this. So,
thanks, Charles. Richard's here. Sam's here. Good morning. Lansing, Michigan in the house. David's here. Good morning. Daryl's here. Good morning. Hombres. Good morning. Yost is here. Hey, all. Brian's here. And Simon is here. Good morning, fellas.
We're going to give a little shout out to Multicraft, man. Sam and Dave Edgars are faithful, man, always watching. And, they're with Multicraft. I just had to send a lead into you, to your Cleveland office for a person who wants to buy a washout booth. So hopefully that gets closed today.
Yeah, and Ray's here. So good morning, Ray.
In the house. Ray,
I've been meaning to call you, just letting you know. I got to get that on my calendar.
Ray is in the running for best beard in the industry.
What do you mean in the running?
Yes, he does.
Now look, I've got my December shaggy going. In January I'll shave it off, but in December 1st I quit shaving. So it's a mess right now.
Looks fine.
It's my hobo look. I'm not,
And I just can't. I've tried, and after a while it starts just looking like, the Wolfman. So.
Do it anyway. What do you got to lose?
It would be patches, and it would not be good. So
you look like John Wick.
Oh yeah, that's the look I'm going for. No,
yeah. All right, so
look at Ray.
Let's get into some topics. Do you want to?
Sure. Look at what Ray just posted. He goes, looks promising, Marshall. So it does. Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
I should grow it out. I'll maybe by I don't know. Maybe by. Let's see. Let's look here. Long Beach is in April. Do you think I can have the full thing going by April?
Get that Duck Dynasty thing going.
Yeah. What do you think?
Sure. Why not?
What else do I got going on? Right?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. So, what's our first topic here? It's are you a badass?
And I think
right?
everybody on here is a badass.
Everybody on here is a badass, but why is this a topic, Alan?
You know, because we have talked all year on this about what are we doing. This has been a tough year. And I got this, just talking to my boss, we were talking to a client, and he has this little thing that no matter what happens, politically, pandemic, whatever, nothing has as much control over your ability to make money, to do work and grow your business as you.
Yeah.
No president, no economy, no whatever. Let the politicians do what they want. They have done it their whole life. And you know what? We keep pushing on. So the question we have to ask, and I have to ask myself is, am I a badass? I don't think so. But you know what? I have to be, because I got to keep going. I don't care what President-elect Biden's going to do. I don't care what President Trump does. I don't care what Nancy Pelosi does. I don't care what Mitch McConnell does. I have to be a badass and keep moving.
Well, let's not get into the politics, but I think
I said all
let's just call it external forces.
Yeah, and that's why I said all parties. Sometimes we get fixed on what's going on through the news, and I have to focus on me. Am I going to be a badass?
Yeah.
I have to keep going.
Right.
So it doesn't matter which side of the aisle, whatever anybody's on, what your personal views are. Yes, there's a pandemic. Nobody wants to get sick, but we have to keep moving. And people are.
So Charles wrote, do you think ISIS is going to happen in April? And I'm going to tell you, Charles, I think it is. And more to the point, Shirt Lab Dallas in March is going to happen. And let me tell you, there are shows, there are events that are happening right now. Tom Rowan went to a marketing conference last week. Magic, which is the big apparel show that usually is in Vegas, is going to be in February in Orlando.
Yep.
Right?
Oh,
These
really?
things are going to happen. Right. And so here's what's happening, I think, is people are just saying, you know what, we're going to have the event anyway. You can come or not come or whatever, but we're making a choice. We're going to be doing stuff. I think I can't speak for ISS because, I don't work for them, although I will be teaching there, right? I'll be having my classes, but it's like one of these things where I think we have to just, face the thing, or, we're going to do it. We're going to have, like, I know for Shirt Lab, we're going to have our event. It's going to be safe. We're going to have protocols and stuff and whatever. And we're also going to live stream it, right? So Perfect. If you choose to come, you can come. If the people that go, it's going to be a fantastic event, right? But if you're doing the live stream, all you see is the people talking, and that's it, right? So, so you get to pick, right? And so I think what we're talking about here more than anything is we have to knuckle down and take control of our own situation. Absolutely. And make the magic happen. We can't just sit on our butt and, not saying you are, Charles, but sit on our butt and just say, hey, you know what? Nothing's working. We have to go out and grab it and do it, I think. And of course, maybe the state gets locked down. You can't have the event. That's something different, but we have to be planning and be optimistic that it's going to happen. And to me, you have a backup plan. There's plan B, right? And so we're certainly going to have Shirt Lab. We're certainly going to have plan B, but we're moving forward with having the event in March. So,
I am, you know what? And I think that's the thing, a mindset of moving forward and doing that. I'm planning on going to Shirt Lab in March.
Yeah.
I've been invited to all of them. I've never attended, and I'm flying down because, one, that's going to be a badass event.
Yeah. And Richard says You Are a Badass by Jen is a recommended book. Yeah, I read that. It is a good book.
I did too. And that's where we got the name from, the title from that book, I'm thinking of.
Yeah. We're just not giving Jen credit.
Yeah. We fail at that.
Right.
But you know what? I'm planning on going to Shirt Lab. I'm planning on doing stuff. Now, things outside of my control, am I getting an echo? Are you hearing that?
No.
Okay. I thought I was hearing that.
You're only getting an echo if I repeat what you say.
No, I thought I heard it in mine. But you know what? We have to be control of our own destiny. And if things
Right.
outside of my control change it, then I have plan B, plan C. But
Right.
we're moving forward. And you have to be safe. You have to do what you feel comfortable with. If
Yep.
you want to live stream it, live stream it. If you want to come to Dallas, it'll be awesome. If you're
Yep.
going to Long Beach, great. And yeah,
we'll see you there.
exactly. So it's going to be an interesting year. It's going to be a different year, but we got to keep moving.
Yeah. Well, I think the only way this economy opens up is that if we do it, right?
Absolutely.
If we, as small business folks, right? If we rely on the whatever stimulus package or the whatever the thing they're going to do, if we sit back and just wait for that stuff, we're going to be out of business, right? We're going to have to take control. We're going to have to do stuff. We're going to have to invent and innovate and bundle stuff. And maybe we collaborate with somebody we never thought we would collaborate with. Okay. And we're making these choices on purpose, and we just have to do it. Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thinking here is badasses just do it. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been doing that a little bit. I was traveling before a lot of people were. And I don't know if maybe that was a badass move. Maybe it was a stupid move, considering I did get sick later.
Yeah.
But, my field, Marshall and I talked about it quite a bit. My feel was I knew the risk. I could come down with something. But you know what? My biggest fear was I don't want to lose everything and live in a cardboard box.
Yeah. Well,
if clients have protocols, I'll adhere to the protocols and let's go.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
And, my company was extremely supportive and still are on how we travel, when we travel, and what we do.
Right.
So it's nice to have that support.
Mm-hmm. Good.
So.
Yeah. And all right, we got some folks here. Daryl says Long Beach is open. I got an email for them today. Hey, get registered. By the way, they're also doing a virtual thing in January that you might sign up for. I have two sessions in that.
Right.
So one's on how to do a better process. What was the other one on? I can't remember. But anyway, so sign up for that. And it's not just doing the live stuff. They're doing a virtual event. And Richard says, men's apparel guy in California. That's funny. So I guess what they're Maggio now, not Magic.
Oh, good. It's Italian.
Yeah. Right. Dave says, echo, echo, echo.
Very funny.
Richard says, I'm planning on going to Shirtwad Down. Yeah, because you're speaking. Thanks.
I would hope so, Richard. Yeah.
And Jim says, hello.
Hey, Jim.
And Heather's here. So
spoke to Heather this week. Always a pleasure talking to her.
Right. Yeah. Right. Good. So, oh, by the way, Heather, I sent you a thing about you being on my best t-shirt I ever printed show. So did you get that? So anyway, so do you want to go to the next topic?
Did I write down the next topic? Actually, we went on the
topic. The next topic I think is a good segue, which is just really about planning for next year. Right.
I think we missed the first topic.
Huh?
I think we missed the first topic. We went out of order.
The first topic was, are you a badass?
I have them written down wrong. Okay, no problem.
Well, I can't help how you wrote it down.
Exactly.
So planning for 2021. So this is what I've been doing loosely for the past couple of weeks, but dedicating lots of time this week for it. I mean, an enormous amount of time, and just thinking and turning some stuff off and just spending some quiet time. I rewrote my business plan. Yep. I came up with a bunch of new ideas for what I want to do next year. I'm planning on doing some traveling and just like really thinking about what I'm doing. And this is what I've been doing, right? And so I think that I know everybody's putting out fires, trying to get their holiday work out the door and finished. Today's like the last day. So, hey, by the way, thank you for either watching or listening while you're working. We appreciate that. So, but I've been really thinking about what I'm doing, and I've kind of mapped out the first 6 months, kind of what I want to do and what I want to achieve. And probably the next several days, I'll come up with the back half of next year, kind of really thinking about what I'm want to be pushing into. And I think I'm going to be doing some new things that are going to be fun and exciting. Whether they work or not, I have no idea. So, but just like we were just mentioning, right? I'm not sitting around, right? I'm thinking about it. But here's what I want to kind of dig into here. Are you having trouble planning? Are you having trouble thinking about what to do? And is you like you got brain lock, right? Let's dig into how you're planning, what you're doing, what you're thinking, especially with Q1, January, February, March. Just getting that out of the way, I think, can unlog jam some stuff. What are you doing, Alan?
Well, to get ready for 2021, I knew you were going to ask me that, so I was just writing down my stuff that I'm doing. I have a few things already on the list. So one, to do with this, I want to set up some guests for Q&A.
Yeah.
We have on. You know, I've already talked to some.
Do we know some people?
I know one or two. We've talked to Joe Piazza from Caesar, who I think would be a great one on there. He does a lot of video, and so he said, yes, he'd love to. We just got to plan it. I think Mr. Dan Solomon, we've talked about it before. And, there's just a lot of people, and we need to start having these, tapping into the people that are here. Right. I want to get some printers on. So I was making a list of that. So I'll be contacting people like that. I have a thing for Shirt Lab you've asked me to do. So I'm going to be redoing my bleeding and dye migration symbol. Right. Which we haven't done in a while. And that's actually the first one where I met you. I was doing that one at Long Beach when you and I met face to face. We had talked online. And so I'm going to revamp that and bring it to Shirt Lab. I think the 7th, I think it is. I have to look.
Was that the seminar you were teaching where you called me out in the back of your class?
It might have been. That was the one where Terry Combs came in and said, to prevent bleeding and dye migration, just print cotton, and dropped the mic and left.
Hey, that works.
It does. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm planning out, in a different non-apparel sector of some graphic shops in certain areas that I have listed on my whiteboard that I want to hit. I want to try to build some relationships with. Right. So yeah, we have some things then already. I mean, starting to jam up. We have an install on equipment, an auto reclaim that we're going to be. It looks like we might be videotaping. Alex and myself, we might be out running product and some of our stuff. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on already.
How do you plan, Alan? Do you look at a calendar? Do you make a list of things that you want to accomplish? Yeah. Like, these are my goals. I need it. Like, I haven't been really doing this and I need to do it more. Like, that's kind of what I want to dig into here.
Yeah. So I am a list guy. I know, Marshall, you showed me a picture of your whiteboard and you make things and erase it all time. Mine is different. I have lists of stuff that I want to do that some of them are dreams. Some of them are things that I need to do. Some are personal. And so I am a list guy. And now I have started going, what do I need to do that I already have scheduled, the Shirt Lab thing. Some of it's for Easy Way and stuff that we're doing, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
But then is someone that is still, the core of my job is to be in sales. And so I am forever making lists of areas and markets that we can do a better job at. And I am very much a list like that.
Yeah.
I do my daily list, usually a night before of what I want to do. And I start marking them off as I'm going. If I don't have a list, I am unproductive. I work hard, but I don't get as much done. Right. So I am that old school list guy. Sometimes I do it on my phone when I'm out of town or at my computer. I'm very much still a tablet, a book.
So I showed this to you before we started. So I just started using this thing, which is called a Rocket Book Fusion, which is a erasable whiteboard that you can tote around with you, and it's got a special pen that you have to use with it, and it doesn't smear anything. And then when you want to erase it, you just stick it in a microwave, and it has disappearing ink kind of thing.
Right.
So, but what's really cool about it, it has a QR code, and then this uploads it to Drive or Evernote or whatever you use, right? And I just got this, and I'm just starting to play around with it now. And the reason I got it is because, way back when, it seems like 6 years ago when we were all traveling, I was on a plane and I would think up cool stuff sitting there and I would like scribble it down, but what did I do with it? Right. So I got this to kind of help me think. And so I was brainstorming on a new YouTube series, and that's what those things was just, content ideas. Mm-hmm. And so I just wanted to try the book out. So that's what I was doing. Normally it would go on the big whiteboard, but now I'm playing around with this thing. And so this is just me experimenting and not knowing if it works or not, or what, or how to use it. And but the goal here thing is to using a tool, and you're doing this planning and this brainstorming on purpose, which means you have to carve out that time. And a day or two ago, I was talking with one of my coaching clients, and they were really stuck on how to they know they need to do this stuff. They know they need a plan, but where do you find the time for it? I go, well, you have to prioritize your time. Mm-hmm. And I walked them through how I do that, was just really scheduling stuff on my calendar in like either 30-minute or 60-minute chunks of time, and then just having a discipline to stick to it. This is what I'm doing for 30 minutes. This is what I'm doing for an hour. And you have to make that stuff available. And what I'll tell you from my own personal, how I work, is all that stuff, all my writing, all the stuff where I'm really using my brain. I do it in the morning, frankly, because I'm jacked up on coffee and I just work faster. Yeah. But after lunch, after I've got something in my stomach, not so much. So I try to do all that stuff early because I just fire through it, right? After lunch, I do lots of phone calls and videos and stuff because it's just better for me, right? And but my point here is I know how I work and how my time is available. And so if you're looking at when am I going to be doing that planning, you have to prioritize this stuff. When is the best time? Is it early in the morning before your day starts? Is it before or after lunch? Is it toward the end of the day? But you have to make time for it, and then you have to do it. That's the most important thing, is that action step, right?
This morning, and this is going to be a little bit off, and we're going to tease someone who's not watching now. Sean LaFave, who watches every week, is not on. Him and I were texting back and forth on some messages, some technical stuff. And he told me, he goes, yeah, I'm not going to be able to watch Q&A. They have a company Christmas luncheon today.
Great.
With the employees.
That's fantastic.
And it is great. I told him, I said, who is responsible for the poor planning of planning Q&A? He goes, unfortunately mine. I go, you do know this will have to come up and under the title of poor planning.
Yeah, I'm going to have the Atkinson Consulting Christmas lunch later today.
Okay. You and Jack?
The whole staff.
You and Jack. There we go. So, that's awesome. Yeah. So that's why Sean's not there. We knew he wasn't, but I had to say, this will be called out, and we will talk about poor planning.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you have to be planning. Ghosta just posted about coming to Sweden. I don't know if you saw that. So I might have to plan that. Dan Solomon, you in? Salmon fishing in Sweden? Let's go.
That sounds really cold.
You coming? It does sound cold, but that's we might have to make that happen, Ghost. I've already my little pie in the sky. If things open up, I want to go to Asia twice this year. So yeah, hey, we could do a side trip to Sweden.
Yeah, well, you could go to Asia through Sweden.
It's kind of on the way.
It's on the way. If you're going around the globe, I guess.
It's really not on the way, but yeah.
So Keith says Rocketbooks are awesome. Mike says he just ordered one for his daughter. Ray says lists at work. He uses a manifest board at home. What is a manifest board, Ray? What is that? Is that like the Rocketbook? It's just different, or is that just a whiteboard? What does that mean? I haven't heard that term.
Well, you just showed me the Rocketbook now. It looks like everybody knows about them but me. I'm going to have to get one. I'm like,
why are you so behind the times, Alan? What's up?
Yeah, exactly. I have a legal pad. No, it's like
legal pads work great. You don't need a fancy tool. The point of it is you just need to do it, right? The action step.
I carry a lot with me. You'll see if I walk in, I usually have this is from ThreadX. These are just books. I love things like this. I'll carry the right things.
I fill those up all the time. Here's one. See, I've got a lot of these. This is my journal I use when I read books. I scribble in like a passage or a quote or a thought that the author has. And sometimes it's just one paragraph. Sometimes it's like 6 pages of stuff. Depends on the book.
Right.
And I reread this all the time. That helps me focus sometimes without having to go find the book off the shelf. Right. So,
sure.
All right. Cool. Daniel says Ray has a manifesto. Oh, I see. It's the how to use ink manifesto. Is that it?
Well, I think the Unabomber had a manifesto too. I might be concerned.
Uh-oh. Well,
same beard.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem. It's the beard. All right. So anyway, the point of it is that I think right now we need to be carving out some priority time, and you should be doing this all the time. And one of the things I talk about a lot is the fact that we need to be thinking 6 to 8 weeks ahead all the time, right? So right now, your brain should be, what are we doing in February, March?
Yeah.
Right. What's going on with my business then? Because you've already planned January.
Yep.
And if you're doing this right, and especially with marketing, right, you've built your assets, you know what you're doing, it's already scheduled, everything is set for what you're doing. And if you get into that rhythm, then when January happens, everything is already built and planned for, and you have automatic scheduling, and it's ding, 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 right? I do a lot with spreadsheets, you guys probably know I write a blog every week. Well, I don't just invent that stuff. It's all planned out, right? And so it's kind of what we're doing. I do the same thing with the podcasts that I develop. Right now I'm putting together the podcasts that are coming out in March, right? Just getting ahead of stuff really helps you with, I think, not getting stressed out over things, because it's just your cadence. You just do it. It's, you prioritize it. You put it on your schedule. This gets done. Here's the action. Here's the follow-up. Here's the thing. And then it really helps you kind of build it out, and it just makes it a lot easier. And so if you're thinking about Q1, right, what events or what customers are looking historically, what did somebody order last year or the year before or whatever? Are they going to be doing that again this year? I mean, who knows right now, right? And just be thinking about that stuff and reaching out and reactivating your customers and finding new opportunities. This is all on purpose, but it has to happen now for then, because if you wait till then to do it, then it's too late, because they've already got somebody to do those shirts or whatever, right? So
agreed. And I like Ray just posted something there. He talked about
poster board or computer file with photos of goals and dates you expect to hit it. Mini personal. That's great.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's basically what you're committing to, right?
Yeah. Look at the next one.
And basically throwing it out to the universe so you can't back out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I'm all about,
and have your ops plan reinforced. Good.
Yep. I'm all about having goals. and I was talking to one of my managers, and I threw it out there. I said, what do you think in numbers for next year in my area? And I threw out a number. I go, you thinking this or this? And he comes back and goes, wow, that's pretty lofty. And I just replied, I go, I'm okay with lofty goals. And I don't know how everybody else is. I'll throw out a lofty goal that might be pie in the sky, but then I'll also have in my mind a little bit more achievable one, because you want to make sure you can achieve something and hit that. Because once I achieve that, then I keep going. Here's the next goal on there.
Well, so there's a fantastic book called Atomic Habits,
right,
by James Clear. And in the book, he talks about goal setting. And he said the problems with goal setting, it's just, we'll just throw a number out there, $1 million. Okay. Yeah. So the problem with setting a goal is that what happens when you achieve it? What's next? So today we hit $1 million. Great. What's next? We got 4 months left in the year, right? So he says a better thing to do is to work on your process. Right? To identify your process. So you're going to commit to doing this every day or every week or whatever, and build your process so your process works. And the 49ers coach, Bill Walsh, right, long ago says, if you build your process right, the score takes care of itself.
Absolutely true. That's very true.
So it's like one of these things where instead of setting big goals, like I'm going to hit $1 million, that's fantastic. But how are you going to do that? Work on your process to be able to achieve that. And that way, when you hit $1 million, it's, hey, that's fantastic, but it isn't a surprise. And then now you know what to do tomorrow. I think if we all concentrated, and I'm a process guy, right?
Yeah.
Build the process so it works. Right. And then if it doesn't work, you can tweak it. Right. What are we doing with that? Right. I think that's a better way of achieving stuff.
I think you're right. And I think with the numbers that I throw out, I always got to have number goals in sales. I just saw that, and it's not going to happen for me, Ray. It just never has in my life.
All right, Ray. Hey, you know what? I don't know if you know this, but I'm a Photoshop master.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
I can give you a photo of me with that beard in about 5 seconds. That's funny.
Cool. On the numbers, I always have to have numbers being in sales on there of what an area is going to do. And
of course you do, right?
But then, I think you're right, because well, yeah, exactly. But with those numbers, I'm not a sales guy that I watch numbers continually.
Yeah.
If I do, it crushes me. If they go up or down and stuff, because there is a process to it. So here's what I want to hit here, and then underneath is the process. Here's how I'm going to plan on achieving that.
Yeah. So I'm not saying don't track your numbers, right? And we need. I'm a number geek. I love a spreadsheet. Yeah. I love to look at stuff. My whiteboard's got numbers on it that I'm looking at, right? And the reason I'm looking at it is because I'm trying to figure out, okay, between that and that, how come that worked better, right? Yeah. And then maybe I do something slightly different or whatever. We're always looking at numbers, but I don't want that to be the sole focus.
Agreed.
Right? So that's why I'm, the process about how we're doing it, right? So there's in my book, Moving Past Disaster, if you recall, I did a whole section on this one thing called the 4 personalities, where you have a different way, just looking at how we're going to achieve what we want to hit. And one was the personality of an explorer. So we want to plant the flag in the mountain where we want to go. The explorer kind of maps out, we're going this direction. Here's the landmines we want to avoid. Here's the benchmarks for success. By this date, we should be at here, kind of a thing. The personality of the artist creates the processes, creates the systems, creates the digital assets or the web page or whatever you need. So that personality of the artist supports the journey that the explorer maps out, because we're going to create the stuff, right? The personality of the judge is what we're talking about here, evaluates things. So it's pass or fail. What are we doing? So if we say we're going to do this every day or every week or whatever, did we hit it or not? And
Right.
we can adjust because we look at stuff. And then the last personality is that of the warrior, which is our Navy SEAL Team 6 that comes out of the helicopter, right? Our warrior are our people, right? It's our troops, right? So do they have the proper training? Do they have the proper tools? Do they have what they need to be able to accomplish what the explorer sets out with the artist stuff, with the to hit the numbers that the judge says, right? Our warriors are the ones that are actually doing the work. And this could be people that work for you, but this could also be, you know, if you delegate stuff to like an outsourced team or whatever, right? They have to do it, right? So it's like all four of these people work in concert together. It's their personalities, right? But this is how you structure your process. So if you're looking at this stuff about how am I going to achieve it, these are four directions that you should look at. And what I can tell you is if you're not achieving your goals, you're not achieving what you want to hit, look at from these different points of view, what's missing and what isn't articulated or built properly. And chances are something's off.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave Eggers just posted, and I love the way because
let's throw it up here. I always like to put the goal and then work backward on paper to be able to follow the process. Sometimes it's hard to build from A to Z and much easier to see the process from Z to A.
I agree.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Good job.
Yeah. Nice job, Dave. Yeah. And, the other thing, too, this is where, like, when it comes to sales, marketing, and being out there, if you watch the numbers too much, and Marshall, I know you're an Excel spreadsheet guy, but when the accounting side of people comes in and that starts overtaking, we talked about this early on. Do you remember what I called? I got it from a book, High Hanging Fruit, what I call accounting spreadsheets as it applies to sales.
I can't remember what the term was. What was it?
The bikini.
The bikini.
Because, and it was from a book called High Hanging Fruit by Tim Chermak is where I got that from. But
and there's a different high-hanging fruit.
Yeah, by Mark Goncola. So, yeah.
How do I know that, Alan?
Because you ordered that book.
I bought the wrong book. You recommended this book, and I bought the wrong one.
Yeah. So you told me that, and I actually have that one. It's right by me. That's how I knew his name, because I bought that one then. But here's the bikini with when you are focused so much on numbers when it comes to sales, marketing, things like that, is the accounting side, the spreadsheet accounting side tells you what has already happened. And it tells you a lot. And I call it the bikini because when you see someone in a hot girl in a bikini, you actually think you're seeing more than you really are. And the part that it's hiding is that relationship, that intimate, that part that really lets you get to know somebody. And that is what sales, that's what marketing is. That's what partnership is, and that's what drives business. And a spreadsheet can't. And that's always the rub between sales and accounting on there. Accounting shows what's already happened and what the pattern should be. And it's important. We got to have those numbers.
But we can like the hot girl in the bikini too, right?
Pardon me?
We can like that hot girl in the bikini also, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can like it, and you should because you need to. But remember, it's not showing you the whole picture. And sometimes, and I've worked for companies where they're more interested in the bikini and not so much what's behind it, and where the real stuff happens.
So Josiah says, someone please make a joke about Alan's bikini philosophy, seeing more than you really are. I think you just did.
I think you just did.
All right. Well, hey, let's get to the
Michigan people here making fun of me. So
yeah, okay. So speaking of bikinis, let's get to our third topic, which is what do you want to do? So when we're thinking about everything that is coming up, and we're thinking about next year, and we're thinking about all types of crazy things, I think one of the things we have to really map out is where do we want to go? What do we want to do? You talked about making a trip to Asia, right? So it's like, we're thinking about this stuff. Where do we want to do? Where do we want to go? And when should that happen? Right. And so I think a lot of times in this industry, we just get focused on orders that are in front of us. Certainly true right now, this week, we got to finish up because customers are going crazy and we can't get the inventory and blah, 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 blah. We're not focused on what's coming up next, right? So, but what I want to think about here is, what do we want to do on purpose? And I love the idea of Ray's idea of the manifesto board, where he's got some personal goals, he's doing some stuff, and I'm going to grow this huge Duck Dynasty beard by April. What do we want to do, right? And how should that look, right? So, what are your thoughts on that, Alan?
Well, I have things, like I said, some of the Asia stuff is I want to do stuff for the industry. I've never been to an international show, so I want to go to one. But I have personal goals internationally I want to do, and I've done for a while.
Well, maybe FESPA will invite us.
And I think we should. We know people through the academy that are in FESPA, and I think we might have to do that. But I love.
How does that work? Do they pay for you to fly you over there and stuff?
I don't know anybody does anymore, but it is interesting. But yeah, I've never been to a FESPA show.
Right, me either.
Yeah, I think that needs to be a goal that we do that.
That sounds like a good goal to have.
That's right. Meets us there. Here we go. I want to go to, even in China and stuff, there's some big shows there. I'd love to attend just to see. When you go international in our industry, and I've done it a little bit, and it is just eye-opening of how big our industry is and what's happening.
Right.
And I want to expand that. Those are personal business goals for me. I've never been considered a goal-oriented person, goal-driven person.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't my nature. Growing up wasn't it. So the fact that some of the things I've accomplished in this industry are still just mind-boggling to me. But it hit me about last year. I'm going, I've hit all my big pie-in-the-sky achievements. So now I'm creating more.
Right.
And nothing wrong with that. I'm more excited about it now because now I know the confidence. I can do this. And I want to try to do it. Right. So I want to do that. There are parts I want to learn more with. Mr. Solomon doesn't know that, but him and I will be getting together. I want to learn more about, silicone ink and that technology and water-based. Mm-hmm. I want to, learn more about things in our industry because it is an ever-learning part.
Right.
There are personal goals and things I want to do. So I have those. I won't mark those. I have those on a whiteboard on a part of it. And so I've started, just writing it out, going, what do I want to do? Right. Ray said, it's out there. It's on the board. I can't take it back now. I can erase it, but I can't take it back now.
Right. Is your podcast still on your board?
It is still on there, but it's smaller. Just gives us something to make fun about.
Well, I think it's too difficult for you, Alan.
I think so too. I'll go right now. Hold on.
I think it would be as simple as falling off a chair for you.
I actually, one of the things I put on it on that podcast idea is expanding it not just to one state, just to people I know.
Oh, so you've made the thing that you're not doing larger.
Exactly. Not larger, just more interactive. I don't know if that's the word.
Well, yeah. you travel a lot. You meet people, right? Mm-hmm. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Worldwide. And, could be global too. So interesting.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. So there are things like that I need to do better. I'm sorry I'm laughing. I got to stop watching the comments come up before we put them.
Right. Alan is never a loss for words. That's true. That's why why am I all blurry now?
I don't know. It's a spiritual gift of mine.
Hold on. Let's do this. Get the camera to refocus. Hey, that worked. How about that?
Here we go.
And then Simon says, FESPA is brutal if you're working it. Fun walking, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've heard. There's FESPA, there's Drupa, there's, SGIA Asia. There's a bunch of shows out there and smaller ones that, Yeah, it would be cool. FESPA mostly just being an Academy member. There's a lot of Academy people that are in FESPA in Europe, and they are part of the world that they meet up there, and it'd just be great, I think, to meet up there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yosta says, I'm going to make my first screen print, even if it's just a logo on our delivery carton. That'd be awesome. You need to show us pictures. Do it.
Exactly. Yeah, Costa. Yeah, I mean, let's get the screen printing going there, bud. I know you do everything else, but yeah.
And Simon says, last FESPA, we took 2 crates a day to set up. EasyWay had a table, 4 chairs, and a monitor.
Impressive. I wasn't with them then.
Yeah. So anyway, so this is all about doing things on purpose, right? So what do you want to do and mapping that out? We're talking about obviously planning for next year, and that's something that I'm looking at right now. And so just kind of figuring stuff out. And I think this could also be, a personal deal, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to always be professional. And just really looking at what's going on. I know, who was it? Shelby Craig was telling me, he posted somewhere on Facebook today that he's doing a trip for his family to Disney World, and it's a surprise, and they don't know anything about it, right? So I think that's great, right? You do stuff like that and just surprise people. That's always a cool thing, right? So, So what do you want to do right now? And so, so if you're watching this right now, can you kind of like throw those ambitious things into the chat? We'd love to read them. So
yep, exactly. I'd love to hear what some of the sales guys have, what some of the vendors have, what some of the printers, what are the goals? What, those goals can be, I guess it's what do you want to do? What do you intentionally want to do? It's about being intentional, I guess would be the word.
Yeah, right.
What do you want to do in your process? What do you want to do in a new market? And, by verbalizing it, by saying it, I like how Ray said, you can't take it back now.
Yeah.
It's just there.
So hard goals like travel. Yeah. So Ray says hard goals like travel and tangible goals like becoming a better leader.
Absolutely.
That's great. That's great. And then just, I like to look good and feel good wearing a bikini. Okay. Good for you.
And we both met Josiah. You're not going to be able to pull that look off. In Michigan.
Hey, if he wants to wear a bikini, he can. There's nothing stopping him.
What people do, in their own home, whatever.
Yeah. What is it with you guys in Michigan?
It's the cold weather. It's the snow.
Oh, there's snow? Is there snow right now?
It's melting a little bit.
Is it as crazy as like Virginia, where they couldn't even get out? One of my coaching clients had to cancel his call this week because he's in New Hampshire and it's like 30 inches of snow, something crazy, and he can't get out of his driveway. So I mean,
we got the back edge of that storm, so I only had like a half inch. I know a week ago, farther north, they got a bunch. They got about 6-7 inches. There's already ice on the lakes up there. Not enough to ice fish.
Right.
But, it'll happen. It's just in Michigan, it'll come. So
I won't say what the weather's like here.
Well, you don't have to worry about snow.
I'm still wearing shorts. I'm wearing a t-shirt today. So
I have a t-shirt on, but it's okay. It's a long sleeve.
Well, you're inside the house. So
yeah, it's a long sleeve Carhartt t-shirt. So
yeah. I'm wearing a Shirt Lab shirt from Portland.
Right. Yeah. Jim just said they got 12 inches in Connecticut. You guys got hit out there in the Mid-Atlantic and New England and all that. So
hey, look, Ron's here. It's all good. Of course,
it's all good. Ron's here because it's all good. It's always good, man.
Right. Okay. Well, hey, let's get to our last topic. We got about 10 minutes left. And the reason I wanted to talk to this, don't stick to easy.
Yep.
Tomorrow, my new blog article is about a concept called desirable difficulty. And so this is really about setting up things that are seemingly really impossible for you to do, like, for Alan doing a podcast, right? So it's like seemingly difficult to do. There's things that you gotta figure out. You might fail, right? But you do it anyway. regardless of what happens, regardless if anybody listens to Alan's podcast, he should still do it. Okay. Because it's the act of doing it that's going to make you better. And then you're going to learn and you're going to figure it out and you're going to do stuff. And this is all about intentional things. So what I want to kind of do here today is, what are we thinking about doing that is very difficult? And this could be anything, right? You could be learning to bake bread, or maybe you're a runner and you want to take a minute off your time, or you want to learn how to print with silicone ink, Dan Solomon's special there, right? What do we intentionally want to do that we haven't done yet that's kind of difficult, right? And let me tell you, one of the things that I want to do this year, and it's on my goal list, is I want to write a fiction book, right? I've actually started writing this book like a year or two ago, and I stopped because I didn't like where it was going, right? But that's something that I want to do. I enjoy writing, and I think it'd be fun to do. And so I want to do that, right? So that's one of my things that I want to do is write this book, right? I don't know if it's going to suck or what, right? But I just need to do it, right? And so that's kind of, if I was, using Ray Smith's method, it's my manifesto thing, right? So, and one of the things that I want to do is get started. And so over the holidays, I was thinking about, this is something, because I'm not really working, I'll start rewriting my book, right? So that's kind of where I'm going with that, right? So for you guys, right, what is the seemingly super difficult thing that you want to put in front of you that you're willing to commit to, or even think about for next year? What is that desirable difficulty? So please share that in the comments, and let's have a little chat. So while we're waiting for that, Alan, what do you think yours is?
Probably the podcast, because look at the comments. I hate you, Marshall. So, there's some things on there. Jim Costas asked, "Can you see that, Marshall?"
No. Oh, Alan has a podcast. Where can I find it?
So the thing is I don't have a screenplay, the old magazine, Ray.
Yeah, right. Great. And then just listen to Alan's podcast. See, you already have customers. You already have listeners.
Guys, here's the thing on this podcast thing. So I made the mistake. I had an idea for a podcast. It's a non-industry one. And Marshall and I were talking. I threw it out there. He went nuts over. He goes, "It is incredible idea. It's on my report 2 years, and I still haven't done anything with it." So this is my failure. I don't have
2021's your year, dude.
All right. So I'll have to pull out the file on that and do that. But you know what? It is, and I should just do it. Marshall has done everything. He's going,
You've got all the equipment. What's your excuse?
Yeah, nothing. Because I'm not a badass. I suck. But yeah, and that's, it's an excuse. It's just not. So that's it.
So Charles says that let's shift the focus away from you, Alan.
Thank you.
Charles says, "I'm wanting to do YouTube videos for a business, but I'm pretty ugly and like to cuss, so I'm not sure if I can pull it off." Hey, do it anyway, right? Even if you cuss, do it. Like, does that stop Gary Vaynerchuk?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, just do it, right? Hey, and here's something that I looked up some stats today, and you guys know that I've been working on my YouTube channel, and it's nothing, okay? But I looked up some stuff today because I'm looking at year-end things, and I'm a kind of a nerd. 2019, Charles, I had 395 views on my YouTube channel because I basically did nothing, okay? 2020, COVID hit, and remember, I did the whole thing with Jack. He's going to help me do that. I had 5,326 views as of this morning, okay, which is a 1,248% increase, okay? My subscriptions went from 30, whatever it was, to 180 something where it is now, okay? That's a 999% increase, okay? And how that happened Now, I'm still not mega YouTube star, and I probably never will be, but it's because I was intentional about it. Okay. And that's the reason I'm bringing it up, not because I'm some famous dude or anything, but it's just because I was intentional about it, and it's growing. Right. And so right now, one of my planning things for next year is I want to do, and this is so crazy. You talk about big goals. I want to do a daily YouTube thing, right? Every single day.
Wow.
I don't know how I'm doing that, but I've been thinking about it, right? In fact, that Rocket Book thing, that page I showed you earlier, was all my little ideas that I was thinking about what I could do every day. And I was trying to think before I commit to it, I need to come up with at least a month's worth of ideas. And then what I wanted to do was record it all at once, and then I can just schedule the videos to come out when I want them to, right? That's kind of how I was planning on doing it. So what I'm thinking about here is going past what I've been normally doing. Charles, you can do your YouTube show, right? What you got to figure out is how you're going to do it, and what's going to be about, what's it called, right? You have to intentionally go through the process of just make a list. What do I need to do the show, right? I know you have a webcam because I've seen you on it, right?
Yep.
Right? How do you do it? How do you publish? How do you do things? How do you know that you're a success? How do you get followers? There's all kinds of help out there. I certainly can help you with it. Not that I'm the best or the expert, just because I've launched some stuff and I'm just monkeying around with it, and I'm happily share you what I've learned. There's people out there that can help you, right?
Yep.
And this can be true of anybody doing anything. Do you think if Alan launched his podcast, I would help him?
You've already offered.
Yeah, I probably would. So,
don't stick to easy. And I think these are another things. Be intentional. So I'd love to hear people. What are some things that you were intentional on, and what worked out?
Yeah, right.
Already, because you can do stuff like that. Yeah. I know what I've been intentional on, and things in my career I was intentional on, and it worked out. But yeah.
So Richard says video book reports. He's only 6 months late. He was going to help me with Shirt Lab. So there you go. Brian says the same, Charles. You can do it, Brian.
Yeah.
Do it.
I don't want to hear ugly. Excuse me. Are we on? Am I on video right now? Yeah. And there is nothing more horrible than watching yourself.
Yeah.
First is listening. I've had to do it when I started speaking, but you know what? It helps. You will learn every idiosyncrasy. If you learn, there's things I do. I always keep, I don't know if you can see, my hands are moving. I tend to move my hands when I talk live.
Yeah.
So I keep my fingers interlocked right here. It keeps me from going nuts.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is I've got a face for radio, right? Who cares? Just do it. You don't worry about it. It's Steve, look at Steve Buscemi, right? He's that guy made a whole career about looking weird, right? Exactly. I mean, it's okay. Hey, Merry Christmas, Daryl. Thanks,
Daryl. Merry Christmas. Have a blessed New Year.
Yeah. Intentional about not printing anymore. Successful about finding Kid and Company and what we do working. Hey, that's great. In fact, I just lined up a call with Ray Markey the other day about helping him with something. So good. I like Kid and Company a lot. So good job with that. Don't stick to easy. So where are we on time? Oh, we're about out. Okay.
Here's the thing on easy. If you stick to easy, you're not growing.
Yeah.
Growing is hard. Growing is painful. You look at diamonds. Diamonds do not come out of the ground all polished. They come covered in rock, and they have to be chipped, and they have to be mined, and there's work, and they do it in polishing. And that's why they call it diamonds in the rough.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is get near someone who's going to be a chisel, and people that know more than you that are there. How do you get better? Hang out with people that are farther ahead.
Yeah. Also, let's think about this. Let's think about sports. Do you think the Celtics and the Lakers made those two teams better when they're, Magic and Bird going against each other? Hell yeah, they did.
Absolutely. Right? And they made everybody else. Without that Celtics and Laker dynasty there. You don't have the Pistons for those 2 years.
You don't have the Bulls?
And you don't have the Chicago Bulls because of how that did. It made them going, this is what we got to do to overtake and be better.
Right.
And it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So who are you intentionally bringing into your circle?
Right. Absolutely.
And think about, let's just think about the Chicago, I don't know, did you watch that Netflix show, the about the Bulls?
Oh, yeah. The Last Dance.
The Last Dance or whatever it's called. Did you watch that?
Of course I did. Yeah.
So just think about, when they got, the worm, Dennis Rodman, right, from the Pistons, right? Think about how that just made the Bulls that much better because even though with all his craziness,
Oh, exactly. He actually, Dennis Rodman left Detroit, went to San Antonio, and then for a year, and then to Chicago.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a basketball guy, but you know what I mean.
And, I was glad to hear Jordan, Michael Jordan, being from Detroit, I'm still a Bad Boys fan. Love those years and stuff. I love the 30 for 30 on him. But you know what? Michael Jordan has admitted, he said, without the brutality of what was basketball back then,
right?
Bulls do not become who they are. And when they knew they couldn't overtake, they focused on the next weakest link, and that was Scottie Pippen. And he failed, but he came back, and he does not be the player without it because it's all about pressure. It's all about time, and that's what life is. You grow.
Yeah, but
you learn from your failures, and you grow.
Yeah, but here's the thing is they were intentional about getting better and identifying, hey, we're not as good as we can be right here. What do we need?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was just kind of the amazing thing. And if you think about, businesses that do that or, anybody, right? What do they do to make themselves better? I watched a couple of weeks ago, a thing on Keanu Reeves training with guns to do the John Wick series, right? And it's like there was this range in California, and he's just like the movie going through with the guns. He learned how to auto load a shotgun 4 shells at a time in his hand. So on the movie, it's seamless because he's done it 1,000 times, right?
Yeah.
And he could have had some stunt actor do that, just do the close up, but he wanted to do it with him doing it. And that's what made that movie so awesome, is the fact that he's doing all that stuff. Right. And I don't know. So anyway, let's look through some comments real quick.
Yep.
And I love this one. Do the 30 Facebook Live challenge. It'll help you get comfortable in front of the camera. Right. And that was a good one.
That's great. Yeah.
Let's be clear. Don't stick to easy unless it's Easy Way products.
Exactly.
Yeah. No pressure, no diamonds. Right.
And diamonds are made from coal. It's all about time and pressure.
Yeah. Diamonds and bikinis. I see a theme for a book title. Yeah. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Let's hope 2021 will be a better year. God bless and thank you guys for what you do. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that. All right. Hey, you know what? I think that's the best comment. Let's leave it at that. So
unintentional. This Q&A, that was intentional, but it was kind of a whim intentional. Who knew? What are we on? 36 weeks now?
Something like that.
Who knew?
It's a who knew we were going to do this? It was just something we invented, and we don't know what we're doing with this, And
we have some ideas. Do we need a sponsor? Okay, all you vendors, let's go. You want to talk to us? Let's go. We're talking about that.
I think it's turned into a thing, right? And it can grow, and we can do some things with it,
and we can do better. And we're going to look at the numbers and see where our views are because it's more than what it was. And following. So thank you, everybody. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Sam asked about shows for the next weeks.
Yeah, well, here's what we want to do is, of course, we're not going to do one on Christmas.
Yep.
But we were thinking about doing a New Year's Day one at the same time. Yep. And then Alan's going to show up with a
mimosa.
And I'll have a Bloody Mary, and maybe we'll toast a new day with you guys. So
yeah, we would love to. If you're hungover, let's see how you look. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, so we're going to do one on New Year's Day, and we'll make a special deal about it. And I don't know what we'll talk about. We'll probably just invent it like we always do about 20 minutes before the show launches.
I know. I think Ray Smith just posted. I think there's our topic that we talk about. Some good things happened in 2020, and we need to remember the good things that happened because
Yeah, good things did happen.
good, great things happened. Yeah, absolutely. We always talk about the bad things in the dark, but good things.
Oh, you froze up.
Me?
Hey, you froze up, Alan.
Am I still froze up?
No, because I hear you now.
Okay, yeah. We didn't know that.
Right, yeah. So you were saying good things happened?
Good things did happen, and I think we need to remember that. That'll be our topic. New Year's Day.
Let's do that. So let's do a 2020 year in reflection on New Year's Day while we're drinking. What could go wrong?
It can't get any worse. Yeah, absolutely. Good things did happen.
Yeah. All right. So Sam says, thanks, guys. Stay safe. Happy holidays. Dave says to everyone, enjoy the rest of the year. I wish each and everyone a profitable new year. Here's to success and growth.
Absolutely.
Great. All right. Well, hey, thank you, everyone that's watching, both live and recording. Appreciate each and every one of you.
Absolutely.
Please reach out to me if you need some help or want to talk about next year or whatever.
I'm always available also. So, yeah.
Yeah. Also, I'm looking for shops to do my best T-shirt I ever printed series, and I would love to get you involved with that. So if you would like to participate in that, please reach out to me. Happy to get you involved. And also, if you're a vendor or a supplier like you, Ray, if you want to participate, would love to get you involved. So anyway, that's it, guys. I'm out. Alan, you want to say something?
No, I'm good. Guys, be safe. Enjoy the weekend. And yeah, let's finish this year strong, finish it safe, and we'll hit it hard 2021.
Great. Well, hey, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we'll talk to you guys later.
In 2 weeks.
See ya.